Hey, it's Mike Hambright, back with another exciting episode of the Flip Nerd VIP show. Today I have with me a special guest. It's Bill Tan, who is involved with the San Diego Creative Real Estate Investors Association and also has recently formed a REIA club in LA REIA as well. He has a long history of real estate investing and a lot of experiences to share. Before we get started, let's take a moment and recognize our featured sponsors. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Hey, Bill. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Mike.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. Well, as we sit here, you're in one of the most desirable locations in the country weather-wise, really, I guess year-round, but certainly right now, with the Northeast being covered with snow and ice and people being kind of frozen in all over the place. So congratulations on picking a great place to live.
Why, thank you. I spent 2 years deciding where to live.
Great, great. Well, hey, why don't you tell us, go ahead and introduce yourself, Bill, and tell us a little bit about your personal background before we get into talking about your experience with some great REIA clubs.
Okay. I'm Bill Tan, and I've been in real estate over 30 years. Sometimes surprising to hear myself say that. Yeah. I'm primarily known for the note industry. However, I've been doing real estate and exchanging of properties even longer than I've been doing the notes. Yeah. I've gone around the country teaching both those subjects. Okay. So,
and you primarily... Sure, sure. And do you have any particular strategies that you follow? I mean, do you own rental properties? Do you teach wholesaling topics and rehabbing and flipping houses? A little bit of everything, or?
Actually, I have one rental right now that as soon as I can, I will not have. I'm primarily a note guy. I'm a cash flow guy from notes. However, I also do put together transactions, transaction engineer. I like to put together the deals that other people can't seem to get a handle on. Okay. I can teach and have taught flipping, but that's not where my business really lies.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Well, I do lease options. I do fix and flips, but I'll buy the property and flip it to someone else and let them do the fixing while I finance it for them.
Okay, okay. Awesome. Well, and primarily all the investing you do yourself, is that in Southern California?
Actually, no. I do it all over the country, especially with notes.
Okay, okay.
Bigger real estate properties, but the smaller ones I try and keep close to me now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And are you doing single family only, or are you doing commercial things as well?
Mike, I'm kind of a slut. Yeah. If I think I can make a good deal on it, I don't care what it is. The only thing I really haven't done in my career is development. Okay. Okay. And I have interests in properties and notes all over the country.
Okay. Okay. Great. Yeah. People ask me all the time, well, do you buy houses like this? And I usually say, well, if I can make the numbers work, I'll buy a teepee. So I understand that. We're in the opportunity business, right? So you've got to go where the opportunities are. Exactly.
However, I prefer larger opportunities away than smaller ones.
Sure, sure. Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the San Diego Creative Investors Association.
I've been associated with the SDCIA for over 20 years. I'm the president of it. I'm the face of it. We meet on the second Tuesday of every month in San Diego here. Our website is SDCIA.com. We usually have between 200 and 300 people at each and every monthly meeting.
That's fantastic.
And been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, good, good.
And the speakers that usually speak at our meetings here speak the next day up in Los Angeles.
Okay, okay. And with the San Diego club, did you said you've been involved for 20 years. Did you found that club, or was it started prior to you
It was
getting
started
involved?
prior to me. Actually, it's been in one incarnation or another since the 60s.
Okay,
However, the current incarnation was just about 89, I believe.
okay.
As a matter of fact, the very first meeting I went to, there were 12 people there. 5 of them were on the board.
Okay.
And
All
we've
right.
grown it a little bit since then.
Yeah, yeah, sounds like it. So tell us a little bit about the typical structure of the club. You have a monthly general meeting, and then you have some additional training workshops and things like that. Is that
Yes, and actually we have a big general meeting, and occasionally we have the speakers want to teach another seminar or something, and so we help set that up for them. And but primarily we're a networking and education club.
right? Right. Okay. And how have you seen things change over the past, let's just say the past year or two with, the market's kind of come roaring back in the past 12 to 18 months here? How have you seen, I guess that's had an influence obviously on your club as well in terms of engagement and things like that?
Well, in terms of my club, it's really surprising. Our numbers really haven't changed over the past few years. Even though last year our property values went up 20% in our area.
Wow.
And so we get a surprisingly a number of new people each and every month. Even when things were bad, we still got over 200 people, 200 to 300 people a month at our meetings.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're on our typical California roller coaster ride. Right now it's flattened out until our buying season starts, which should start very soon.
Okay.
Well, it'll start next month, actually.
So tell us a little bit about what does that mean? What is buying season? When is buying not in season?
Well, our typical buying season, the one we call the buying season, is really for the people who are moving.
I see.
Not for real estate investors per se,
Right.
but for the people who buy and move their families. And here in California, Southern California, it's normally March through till October.
Okay.
And that's when we have the most activity. That's when we have the most movement. And we'll have real estate investors buying and selling all during that period, but it generally slackens off for the general public after October. And our best deals are usually November and December.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so where do you think your club, so what are your plans for the future to kind of grow your club or improve? What are you looking to do there?
Well, we're looking to do a lot of things. We're, that's the old saying, if you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're starting to rot. So we're starting to add small classes for our members to bring them abreast of new and different things. We're starting to develop a relationship with our local apartment owners association to help bring their education and expertise in. But we want to teach things that real estate investors need to know, such as the local and state and federal laws regarding landlording and real estate investing, changes in the tax laws, things like that. And we have small groups meetings like on Saturday mornings.
Okay. Okay. And then have some general questions I want to talk to you about REIA clubs. But I guess before we do that, why don't you tell us a little bit about your newer club in LA?
Well, I was approached by several people, one in particular, owing to the fact that I am of Asian heritage. My last name is Tan, part Chinese. And so they wanted to start an Asian club up in the LA area. So originally we started it in the Orange County area. But subsequently, I've moved it up to LA, which fits me better because it's near my parents, and there's no other clubs around me. And it's funny that it was called, at the initial, it was called the Chinese REIA, Real Estate Investors Association. Then it was called the Asian REIA, and it's morphed into the Los Angeles and Asian REIA because we get everybody. We're not prejudiced. If they come in and want to learn and they want to contribute, we don't care who they are.
Right.
And so it's growing. We're probably going to move from our current facility to another one because we're bursting at the seams. And I've always said that I didn't want to leave it until that was the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the LA area hasn't had a club like mine in a long time. So
Okay.
uh,
And tell us a little bit about that. What is that? What do you mean by a club like yours? Does it mean what? Well, without me trying to guess, why don't you tell us what you mean by that?
well, it's run along the similar lines of my San Diego club in that we have a general meeting. We have people who bring what we call haves and wants. You know, I have this property or I have this asset and I'm looking for something else, or I come in looking, I have money from an exchange. I need a deal. Can somebody help me out? Things like that. I'm a newbie. Can you show me? Somebody help me and show me the ropes.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's educational based, so the speakers have to speak first. I don't care if they sell afterwards, but they have to educate our members, and they really appreciate that fact that they know that any speaker that comes and speaks before our meeting will be educational based. And the fact is we have networking opportunities for the people who come to the meetings, so they get to learn about the other people, where they are in their real estate investment career, and what specific niches they work.
Right. Yeah, that's great. So
we have fix and flippers and buy and holds and everybody in between.
Yeah, and I think that's important for a club to be diverse, because real estate investors are from all walks of life and have all sorts of different strategies, right? From note buying to owning rental properties to all sorts of different exit strategies. So that's fantastic. There's one thing that as a kind of I guess somewhat of a veteran real estate investor myself, maybe not relative to you, to you, Bill, but you really start to see there's people are. And that's the beauty of kind of entrepreneurship, is you find people that are constantly pressing the envelope of how to get creative. And I think with a lot of regulation and things like that, and I'm not saying illegal, just creative solutions. I think with all the new regulations and stuff that are constantly coming down, there's always a door that opens and a door that closes and another door opens somewhere else for folks that think outside of the box a bit. And I think that's the beauty of the real estate investing industry, right?
Well, you're talking about me. That's why I started smiling.
Yeah.
I teach a subject on creative financing and advanced financing, and this is my third going on fourth cycle now, real estate cycle. So we just learn to play by whatever rules are currently in place, and we dust off old strategies to take advantage of it, and then we get together with our friends and concoct new ones.
Yep, I understand. Well, you talked a little bit about the clubs and how you're different and some of the things you're doing. Can you talk a little bit about, I'm always interested, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, what the right mix is with real estate investing clubs in terms of how they serve their members. Now, some, spend a lot of time selling and selling from stage and a lot of things like that. Most of the better ones have a disproportionate amount of education. But can you talk a little bit about, as a veteran in the real estate club space, can you talk a little bit about what you think the right balance is for a club?
Well, let me give you both extremes. There are the clubs that bring a selling speaker every month, and they're going to get a portion of everything that's sold. And because it's their primary business running the club as opposed to real estate, they really pump the best sales speakers in and through those clubs. And they're all for profit. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's just that that's that model. And then there's the ones that are solely there for education. They don't allow the speakers to sell from the stage. And there you have everything in between. Our particular models are in between. I believe that if you can attract speakers to come and speak, quality speakers on good subjects, but you have to allow them the opportunity to, if they may have flown from across the country, to get back their costs. So, and you really want to have the audience to pick and choose what resonates with them. Unfortunately, what happens a lot of times with the audience is that the speaker is a very good salesperson, and that I always say that their one mouth is greater than the two ears listening, so the mouth usually wins. So we try and, at least with my clubs, we have to watch every presentation before they get in front of the clubs. One of the things that my members have always said is they feel safe at our meetings, knowing that the people that we put up will be people that, if we put up in front, they have a quality product.
Right.
And most, but not every speaker at our meetings does sell something.
Right. Right. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that. Like you said, I think probably most of us have something for sale somewhere, and we believe it of great value. Otherwise, we wouldn't be selling it. But I think education always has to play that front role. So that's great.
And one thing both of my clubs do now, both of them have a library, and we have speakers contribute to them. I acquire things off eBay, donations, and things like that, so that people who come to the meetings who are members get to add to their knowledge by taking from our library, which is free.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So for both of your clubs, do you have a dedicated physical space where you hold meetings?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
that's
and great. The San Diego one is in the next largest room in the facility that we're using. We've gradually moved across and grown from meeting to meeting to meeting.
Okay. That's great. That's great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you think things are going from a regulation standpoint, and a lot of the pressures that are being put on real estate investors. Of course, you've seen those cycles come and go, but for a lot of folks today, it doesn't feel like any of this is ever going to go. It just keeps coming. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your perspective on just kind of regulation and the state of the geopolitical environment in real estate investing, I guess.
Well, right now, with the way I see our government spending money, they are looking for new and better ways to bring in income, because they're not reducing their expenditures. They just want to keep adding programs. And recently they've discovered that real estate investors are a pigeon to be plucked.
Yeah.
And so they're starting to add tax laws for us. Well, they also have tax laws on the books that if we take advantage of them, we can use to our advantage, so we don't have to pay those taxes, at least currently. You know, it's a moving target. They make tax laws, and we learn and discover ways to defer or avoid taxes entirely. Mm-hmm. I see, at least in our area, I see for this year and next year, it's going to go up. And the reason it's going to go up is because of the way they have allowed lending entities to change the way they do their accounting. So now that when a loan goes past due, they can keep it on the books until they actually do foreclose, and it's an asset until they actually do foreclose. Right. They don't experience a loss until then. And then they also see now that the lenders, rather than going through foreclosure process, are selling their notes, the bad notes, early, so they can get the cash today to reinvest them quickly. Right. So that's what I see in a quick nutshell.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your investing business. I know you're a coach, and you teach other people how to do some of the things that you do. Is that primarily focused on the note side?
Well, creative financing. I call it creative financing. It's a solution-based financing, but it's really engineering transactions. And that's where my expertise, that's where my heart lies. I enjoy being able to put together deals. I like to find an opportunity and grow it. For example, I found a property. I bought it using seller financing, which I see a lot more going to happen of seller financing, because they're going to compete against, people will compete against the banks, and now there's equity that they have to compete against. And then I turn around and I flip that to a family where the family then comes in. They couldn't get a loan because their credit was bad. They ruined it moving up in our area here, and they're really good with their hands. So they're going to fix the property up and I'm helping financing it. But in addition, I get a piece of the future appreciated value. So that's the kind of things I like to do. I like to get a little bit today. I like to get the cash flow, and a little bit tomorrow.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's interesting when I talk to different folks from around the country, because typically I'm in the Texas markets, and Texas, Dallas and Houston, probably two of the very best markets in the country to own rental properties. And there aren't very many great markets in California for rental properties, so you're kind of forced to get creative to generate cash flow, right? Because most folks that have invested in rental properties in the past in California are really banking on appreciation and maybe some speculation and things like that, especially in the major markets. So, yeah.
You're absolutely right, Mike. Yeah. Right now, though, due to the historically low interest rates and the fact that prices took such a deep drop, there's a lot more buy and hold investors who are able to either cover their expenses plus have a little bit of a profit. However, as prices continue to rise, that will change unless they get different financing or learn different ways of financing things.
Right, right. Awesome. So in terms of your two clubs, where do you see things going from here? Are you trying to, especially your LA club, I assume you're in growth mode and working on growing that?
Actually, I'm in growth mode in both of them.
That's great.
I got some additional assistance, such as farming out different aspects of the business, because it is a business when you run a club,
Sure.
Just like anything else.
Yeah.
You run it for profit or not. And I'm looking to grow my membership, and to do that, we're going to start getting the word out, because I really have not advertised either club a great deal. Most of our members come through word of mouth or the internet.
Yeah. And that's good. I mean, if you're providing good service, then those will probably be your best referrals, of
they're
folks that are
absolutely the best. I always ask at a meeting, what brought you here? Internet, a friend. I said a very intelligent friend.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So we're in the growing mode. I'm going to, like I said, I'm developing a relationship with the Apartment Owners Association to bring peoples with multifamily into it, because most of the people who come to the clubs are only interested in single family. They really haven't been exposed to like notes. They haven't been exposed to apartment owners. Apartments. Our last meeting was a mobile home park. So the idea of the club is to expose them to different niches.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, can you tell us one more time how they get a hold of the San Diego club and the LA club, or how they find out more? And then,
sure.
And then for some of your programs that you teach as well, if you have a different website or some other way to get a hold of you, if you'd like to share, please do.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for that opportunity. The San Diego Club is SDCIA. If you Google SDCIA or go to SDCIA.com, it'll come up with the San Diego Creative Investors Association. And we have a website with a lot of information on it. And we have a discussion board that is second to none in the country. And
Great.
we have, on that discussion board, we have over 10 years of questions and answers by new investors and experienced investors from all over the country contribute to it. And the LAREIA, if you Google LAREIA, it should come up Los Angeles and Asian REIA. And we're a meetup group right now and growing and having a lot of, I'm actually enjoying this club up there a lot right now, because it's still small and they like the intimacy, but they're not going to have it for much longer, I don't think.
Yeah.
And my website is billtaninvestments.com, and I don't use it that much. However, it does have some information on it of how to get a hold of me.
Okay. Great.
But you can email me at bill@sdcia.com, and that will get to me.
Awesome. Well, Bill, thanks for letting us have a chance to meet you and learn more about your clubs and everything you're working on today. Really appreciate it.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Mike. I was curious. I was wondering, how this guy even hear about me? And I'm curious what kind of person it is. I'm
a crazy guy.
Oh, right up my alley. Well, it's a pleasure to meet people from all over the country who share a similar interest.
Yeah.
Because we talk the same language, even though sometimes you guys talk funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you really don't have an accent.
Well,
I'm Texas.
I'm actually from Illinois. I grew up in Illinois.
Okay.
So, and I've kind of lost that a little bit of that Chicago accent as well. So I'm I'm somewhere in between Illinois and
Well, I don't hear
Texas.
the drawl.
Well, there's a funny saying about Texas, about Dallas, that most people in Dallas are not from Dallas. There's a lot of transplants here from all over the country. So yeah.
Oh, yes, I am aware of that.
Yeah. Awesome, Bill. Well, hey, thanks again so much for your time. I appreciate you joining the show today.
Well, you're most welcome. Hope we can do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Stay in touch.
I will.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com.